We'll start with you, really. How did you get into rugby league, and we'll start there.
So I got introduced to rugby league from my time living in Newcastle in the north of England. Just a gentleman, a coach said, hey, come out and try it on a Sunday, and boom, I was hooked. 2 years later, I was coaching it and moved back to Canada and played a domestic season in BC, and then I started my own club the following year and kind of just been growing rugby league ever since 2017, and I just love it. It's a great game.
So what team are you involved with in Canada then at the minute?
So I started the Vancouver Valley Vipers, so a team just kind of 45 minutes outside of downtown Vancouver, and just like introducing rugby league to guys who've never played it. 99% Canadians, like the few players that aren't necessarily born in Canada are actually, a lot of them are South African who have never played rugby league. Just growing the game with guys that have never played league at all. It's awesome. They're loving it too.
And how's the health of Canadian rugby league these days then?
Pretty strong. Like we have it's very still young.
Yeah.
Like I think we started about 2011 domestically in BC, but like last year I think we had about 100 or 200 and something, 200 plus players, mostly senior men. I think about 40 women. And then we actually kick-started a U18 program this past summer with the Whistler Wolves and Vancouver Vipers for the first time, we believe, in Canada, that we had a junior rugby league program. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
So coming to an event like this, it's got to be huge for the development of your guys, hasn't it?
Yeah, most of these kids are playing league for the first time ever in their life, and so they're kind of really getting that different taste of like, hey, everybody needs to be a bit of a ball player, and everybody has specific roles, and stay in your channel, and that's totally like eye-opening to them because they're so used to rugby union where it's like, hey, just ruck over or stay with your pod, keep it simple, where they're getting the opportunity to be like a bit more expansive and creative and use some agility before contact. So
how have your team got on? How are you doing in the tournament at the minute?
So we had a bit of some challenges coming here. Some other U19 teams kind of unfortunately weren't able to come along. So we ended up having a East-West kind of Ontario BC internal match yesterday, which was we played 13s, and that was awesome. We had our Wolverines Black come out on top 26-0, and then we played some 7s where I think Black again won a little bit closer. Maybe it was like 20-12, and then so today, through some collaboration and communication with the NRL, kind of expressing our concerns, our frustrations.
Yeah.
We pitched to them going like, hey, can we select a team to join the bowl competition on the second day? And they took it to their board and kind of said, you know what, hey, we think that's a good idea. We felt like it was way too big of a jump to go in day one against all these touring sides. So we said, hey, you know what, the bottom half would be a great stepping stone for us, and our boys went in. We beat the San Diego Barracudas in a thriller. I think it was 2018, and then we played the Saints in the semifinal, and we struggled a bit. We learned the hard lesson of looking after the ball and possession and the importance, because we had a few early turnovers on sets, and it really cost us. But our boys are like impressing us and competing, and running against men for the first time, many of them, and playing just league for the first time. It's amazing to see how well they've done. Adapted. Like one group had about 7-8 sessions in Ontario, and we ran about 15 sessions in BC over the last 3 or 4 months, and the majority of them, this was their first taste of rugby league.
Awesome, mate. So right, if I come here, let's imagine I'm here next year and you're here next year, where would you want to see Canadian Rugby League be? What sort of development would you like to see it make this year?
So I'd really love to see more development of the youth program. So we're hoping in BC that through kind of what we offered here, that we get a third or fourth U18 domestic team. I'm hoping that we can kind of keep building stuff where the Wolverines come down here and compete with other touring nations or the USA, and that we keep bringing more clubs. I think I did kind of the math here that we had almost 150 Canadian athletes playing here. So we had 3 women's teams, two men's teams, and then 2 U19 teams come down here. And last year we just had 3 teams, 2 women's and 4 teams. Sorry, I'm correct. 3 teams. Men and 2 women's and a men's division, men's team.
It's going in the right direction, though.
Exactly, and more and more people are jumping in and going, hey, I want to try this. Like, hey, what's this league thing you've been talking about? Yeah, I'm going to give it a go. So,
can I ask you about Toronto Wolfpack? I mean, I don't know how much you went to watch them or anything. Did it hurt the Canadian sport at the time after it kind of ended?
No, I don't like. So being in British Columbia, we're a fair distance away, so I never personally got to see it, but I think it actually created a lot of buzz for rugby league in the Ontario region. Obviously it not working out long term, maybe we didn't get to see the lasting impact, but it was definitely worth it, and I think a lot of people got exposed to it that wouldn't have otherwise. Like a lot of people don't even know that there's a different code.
Yeah, true.
Right? Unfortunately, in a lot of places of the world, rugby union is the king, and people are like, what? There's another game? It's like, yeah, and it's better.
Anything else I should have asked you?
No, man. No, thanks for doing this, and this has just been an awesome experience. I was down here last year, and the games tomorrow were a blast, and there's more games, and so it's just like such an awesome experience. If you're thinking about, you like rugby, well, like give league a go. It's a blast, and you're not going to be disappointed.
Which game are you most looking forward to?
Tomorrow, probably the last game.
Penrith.
Penrith. Just to see that quality, it's to have that consistency of quality year after year is, you don't see it in sports. And when you do, it's like, wow, this is a spectacle. Like, this is amazing.
I think they'll get beat, mate.
Hey, I love it. Like, I don't care whether they win or lose.
I think they'll get beat.
But I just love that they just show up year after year and go like, yeah, we're going to reload. I constantly talk about that. Like, shit happens permanently. Which in rugby, it's like reload, reset, let's go again. Right? Like, that's the joys of rugby, is just getting to go again.
Right, mate. Cheers. Perfect
Awesome.
interview.
Thanks.
Cheers.